Well, that's a good tee up for today's question, which was submitted by a viewer who asked that I don't use their name and don't identify them by gender either. They're that twitchy. So they work for a company that is one of the stalwarts in the financial services space.
Mm,
And this viewer writes that they dragged us back into headquarters, took away our free coffee and snacks,
mm.
and now we're operating in DEFCON 3. They add, my boss, who'd always held himself with positivity and confidence, is now twitchy and amped up about the group's already solid performance. This viewer asks you, why is my boss so paranoid about productivity? Why is their boss so paranoid, Kathy?
It's a tough situation to be a manager in
Yeah.
today's environment. And because the disconnect between the C suite and the individual contributor is completely different. I think only 12% of leaders, this was just I think a Microsoft report that came out, 12% of leaders are confident that their team is productive, while 87% of employees are very confident they're doing exactly what they need to do. And you know who's in the middle? The
Mm-hmm.
manager.
Yeah.
The manager. And so they're getting pressure from the top to reflect the performance of their team, and that they're passing it right down to the individual contributors and the direct reports. And it is creating a crisis at all levels of the organization.
Well, let's talk about that crisis. It's so ripped from the news. So
Yeah.
already today, this morning, today's January 18th, Microsoft announced that they are going to cut 10%. I'm sorry, 10,000 from their workforce
Mm-hmm.
of 221,000 people, which is about a little under 5%. They had actually hired 40,000 people in 2022. I didn't know that,
Wow.
but it's still 10,000 people in some parts of the country is a zip code. You know, so
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
so that's really tough. And then 2 weeks ago, Mark Benioff at Salesforce made the news when he announced a 10% workforce cut. But this one was a little strange. He cited low productivity as the reason. And initially, he only notified 1% of those who were going to be let go, leaving 99% of the company remaining paranoid and unproductive. And as my friend and someone very popular on LinkedIn, Steve Cadigan, wrote, now let me see if I've got this right. Salesforce announces a 10% staff reduction coming due largely because of low productivity. And as of today, you wrote this about a week ago, they've only notified 1% of the workforce, and now 99% remaining are wondering if they will be part of the 9% to be let go, which is virtually guaranteeing zero productivity until that decision is made. What do you make of all this, Kathy?
Well, I wonder if he's not being a little bit crafty and creating that anxiety, prompting people to outperform and overperform in
Ay,
hopes of hanging on to their job. Could that be a strategy? I don't know. But one thing without a doubt is, like so many CEOs today, he's not doing what he or she can to create a culture of trust, of engagement, of belonging. I mean, it is crazy. During the pandemic,
mm-hmm.
we saw CEOs coming from their kitchens with their
Right,
kids in their lap. We support you.
right.
Whatever you need, we got you. And people got corporations through the crisis in big ways. And now it's like a complete pivot. It's like, well, we hired too many. We got to get rid of some. You're not productive enough. What happened? How did I become so unproductive in such a short amount of time?